Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 home buyer incentives for those of you that are looking to move to the Blackstone Valley area in Massachusetts or Rhode Island. So you're going to want to hang around, pay close attention, stay till the end, because the last program that we talk about could potentially save you the most money if you qualify. So if this is the first time that you're visiting this channel, please like, comment, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, do all the things. And if you're interested in learning more about the Blackstone Valley area, or you want to be the first to know about the current market information in that area, this is where you're going to want to be, okay? So these 5 programs, we're going to start with number 5, which is a VA loan. So with a VA loan, you can finance 100% of the value of your property. Now, the VA does not set a minimum requirement for your credit score. However, your lender may. So we see a lot of lenders setting the minimum credit score between 640 and 660, but that can be variable depending on the entire package of your loan process. Okay, so again, you want to speak to your lender about that. Now, you want to keep in mind that even though you're financing 100% of your loan, your 100% of the value of your home, you're still going to need some money. Okay, so don't come into this thinking, oh, I don't need one stinking cent and I can go buy a house. It doesn't work that way. You're going to have to pay for a home inspection. You're going to have to pay for appraisal. You may need to pay for a 1-year insurance binder if they can't roll that into your closing costs. You are going to probably have to put money down at offer and purchase and sale. Now that money later on will either be credited to your closing costs if you're paying them yourself, or you may even get a check back at closing if the seller is offering you a credit to cover your closing costs, okay? So it's really important that not only is your lender very good with the programs that they're offering you, but it's really important that the realtor that you're working with is also knowledgeable about the generalities of the loan programs that you're working with, okay? Because they're all different, so you want to make sure that your realtor is also aware of the different intricacies of each program, okay? So that's number 5, the VA program. Number 4 is the Massachusetts and Rhode Island state programs that offer down payment assistance or grants for closing costs. So you want to make sure as a buyer that you do your due diligence and you look into these on your own, okay? So you can visit rihousing.com for Rhode Island, or you can visit mymasshome.org in Massachusetts. And again, they have down payment assistance programs and or grants for closing costs. So you need to look into that yourself. You need to make sure that you qualify. Please don't rely on somebody else to do it for you. Don't let somebody be like, oh yeah, you definitely qualify. No, you need to look into it and make sure that you do, because you don't want to be relying on these funds and then have it fall through because you never qualified. Another thing that you want to do is make sure that you understand what the loan or the assistance that you're getting means and how it affects your property. For example, I know someone who purchased a home. They got a $10,000 assistance from one of these programs. So it was essentially another loan for $10,000 as the down payment. They were required to live in the property as long as there was a balance on that loan, okay? So you need to make sure that you know what comes with the loan, because there could be some stipulations that you need to be made aware of, okay? So number 3 is our conventional loan. That was a bad 3. Number 3 is our conventional loan. So the conventional loan, typically they want to see a credit score of about 620. They need to see you putting about 3% down. But remember, if you don't put at least 20% down, you could be subject to mortgage insurance payments. Okay, so that's a payment that actually protects the bank in case you just default on your loan. So if you have a little bit of a lower credit score, and a little bit of a higher debt to income ratio, then you may need to put more than 3% down, but you could still qualify for a conventional loan. So again, you're going to talk to your mortgage professional to determine what's the best program for you. With that being said, we're going to move on to number 2, which is the FHA loan. So with an FHA loan, they're looking for a credit score of about 580, and they're asking for 3.5% down. Now, again, you could potentially qualify with a lower credit score, but they're going to maybe want as much as 10% down if that happens. Again, you need to speak to your loan professional. You also need to keep in mind that with FHA, when the appraiser comes out, they're not only going to be looking for the value of the home, they're going to be looking to make sure there's no peeling paint, that there's no really obvious safety issues, that the handrails are safe, that the stair treads are the right size, rise and run, and that they're secured properly. So these items are things that will have to be negotiated for the seller to maybe fix if the appraiser has an issue with them. So these are some things that, again, it's very important that your realtor is familiar with these programs so that they can look for these things ahead of time so that you're aware of them before the appraiser shows up so you don't get caught by surprise, okay? And then our last program is the USDA. And they're looking oftentimes for a minimum score of 640. Again, scores below could potentially be viable if they do manual underwriting. So again, that's in the court of your lender. So that's something you need to speak to them about. But again, with the USDA loan, not only do you need to qualify, but the property needs to qualify. So this program was put into place to encourage people to move to more rural areas, okay? So not all properties qualify for a USDA loan. We actually have a website that we can go to put the property information in, and it lets us know if that's qualifies under the USDA program. Now, again, I mentioned to you that it's important that your realtor is familiar with the different lending programs, and here's a good example why. With a USDA loan, you have to obtain a form from the USDA before you can close on the property. And that form needs to be requested by the loan processor or the loan originator or somebody in the mortgage office, usually 3 to 4 weeks before closing. So you want to make sure that form is requested, because if you don't have it, you can't close. So again, this is why it's really important that not only you're working with a knowledgeable lender, but you're working with a realtor that is familiar with these programs as well. So I'm so glad that you joined us today. And again, if this is the first time you've been here, if you could subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And if you're looking for any information about the Blackstone Valley in Massachusetts or Rhode Island, we're here to help.